Soul Garden.
Good morning. I'm out light walking in Newport Beach, California, and this is your Monday Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste and welcome to Namaste Today. My name is stepº21. I am a psychic astrologer and the Sensei to Serious Joy, here to stand in my heart each day and walk in the light. Thank you so much for light walking with me. I'm out light walking in Newport Beach, California. It is gorgeous. It feels like Hawaii here. We're going through an Indian summer in California. Last week was just torturous. I did like so many readings cooped up in a little room. It was great to meet all the people I met, by the way. So if I read you, it was so nice to meet you. Really, it was. And it was great. But it was so hot. It was so intense. It was that Virgo, just like every little detail driving me crazy. So I think we're over that hump. We had a solar eclipse in the last 24 hours. I'm actually taping this in the solar eclipse energy. And that solar eclipse was at step 20. Step 20 is I feel it and I need to protect it. So really step 20 is I feel the passion. And so we have been launching into some passion. And this is new passion, I believe. This is a cleaned out heart, if you will, from the Venus retrograde. This is a boosted heart from Jupiter in Leo for a full year. And now that Jupiter has moved into Virgo, the human collective conscious will now recreate their reality, which I'm coining a me-ality if you believe in creating your own reality. That's how I was raised. I was raised to believe that we could, and so far it's working pretty well. I'll say that. So without further ado, let's look at the planets and see what my guides have to say about today, Monday, September 14th. I have to look at the date because I'm up in my head. And what's coming up this week. And let's ask them that question too, guys. What do we know this week? Okay, so the first thing they take me to is Jupiter. Interesting. So today on Monday, September 14th, step 21 rules the day. And so step 21 is when it starts to get fun. That's what I like to say. The step 2 is I feel, and the step 1 is I love. So we're feeling what we love. So it adds to a 3. And what my guides were adding to is Jupiter. They say Jupiter is it right now. And indeed, Jupiter is it. Jupiter is opposing Neptune. We're still building in this vortex between Jupiter and Neptune. But Jupiter today is at step 7. Now, what that means is that we're expanding our reality to include spirit this week. And that's what spirit wants you to know, is that spirit is included. So I was talking to many clients this week that I read about, including spirit and what is it like to walk in communion with spirit. And basically, when I just bow my head there and go with my guides, I basically call that up with everything I do in the given day. And with Virgo growing like crazy, with everything growing, like business, opportunity, people are connecting, no one's quite sure where it's all leading up to because there's so many details. The way you know the detail that's meant for you is you listen to your intuition, you listen to that I sense. And it really just takes like going in for a second and getting your senses opinion. Now, a little game I play with people, also who get readings with me, is, and this is a good time, they're telling me about this, is like to develop your psychic sense, if you just check in and ask your guides several times a day about something, particularly the same thing, you'll start to get a bit of an orchestra, a common thread of answers, and you begin to, have a good sense. I always say that people should test it on things that don't matter. Like, will I hear from Todd today? No. Will this happen? No. Will that happen? Yes. And really stick with yeses and nos, and stick with things that don't matter very much, because once it really matters to your heart, your mind starts playing tricks on you. Now, if you get my text service, it's an excellent way that every time you get a text message, put your left hand on your heart, ask your intuition, what does my gut say about this, or what does my gut say about that, and try to thread in that intuitive knowledge into your moment to moment. Yeah, a little race car over there. They're taking me to Venus. Venus is at step 15 today, and that means that we are accepting and receiving a new peace this week. And that's part of the tranquility too, I think, is what they're pointing out for this week. So this is a week of developing a tranquil reality. That's what you want to do, a peaceful and tranquil reality. And that the 15 means that you must be mindful of the peace. So really, when I start to understand enlightenment and I move forward in life here, I always wondered, what did Buddha mean? Why were we always having to be quiet? Why are we always having to be meditative? Why is that enlightenment? It's not that we're quiet-minded, as it turns out. I think that's just the way it was described. It's that our mind is always looking for that peaceful feeling, or our mind is always looking for that loving feeling. So our mind is not often different thoughts or necessarily racing ahead about certain things, but when you are being who you are, you just want to be mindful of your heart. Like right now, for instance, my heart is aggravated at that motorcycle, you know what I mean? And my heart loves that this feels like Hawaii right now, so it's a double thing right now, and you just be aware of it. They take me to Pluto. So Pluto is at step 1300. All right, now I don't usually talk about the minutes very much, but when they minute out at 00, when it rules 0, that's a big deal. So I think that we've come to an absolute line. What they're definitely showing me here. An absolute line as far as you will find that you will skin your knee, or you will get hurt, or you will lose at the racetrack if you bet on the old philosophy. Okay? That's because Pluto has hit step 1300. We've hit the bottom line. We've hit the bone of this. Now, what this is really doing, they're showing me right now, is separating the leaders from the followers here in the future. So that's a ferry, believe it or not. It's a ferry going under the bridge here in Newport. So the people who live by their beliefs right now, who are solid about their beliefs, there's nothing to show you that you're correct. No one is looking at whether or not you're stealing money out of the cookie jar, okay? It's up to you to live by that philosophy right now and to stand by it. But they're showing me that it will be a problem later, as if someone is watching you right now looking, believe it or not, and at some sort of time of trial and error, you could be seen as not a believer, all right? And it would be important. So it's not that anyone, so to speak, cares about perfection, especially in Virgo, but there are times in life where life gets black and white. And so they're showing me that when it comes to philosophy, stick to what you believe in all week, stick to your peace. Oh, and they're also saying ignore the reality that you see. They're bringing me to Mars. Where's Mars? Okay, Mars is at step 23. So what that means is Mars is getting our mind pregnant with a certain idea or attitude today. And this is for today, where Mars is. And so this is a loving attitude about life. And that's kind of like coming up with a song that you whistle no matter what. And you really, they're saying that, this is the way to kind of stay on your path, is to be mindful of the big lofty ideals. And that kind of helps you to ignore the details that could distract, take you off, or get you off your path. So keep your mind with a certain attitude. Mine is live, love, be. That's like when I get confused. Sometimes, I have to say, I'll just share with you right now, how are we on time? That last week was so crazy with the Virgo details and stuff. I literally found myself walking in circles. I was like, I don't know what to do. What should I do? I don't know what to do. I literally was walking in circles, and it was so hot, and it was so uncomfortable. And finally, I was like, okay, live, love, be. Like that, it comes down to that for me. It's like, okay, live in the moment, love myself, and just be who I am. It took a minute. Like, I had to just let it all go. So this is really Jupiter in Virgo, and so what's happening is the new reality is populating, the old reality is populating, everything is growing, like it's been raining in a tropical forest. So to stay on track, get your mantra in your head, and be mindful of your heart and of your spirit, they're saying. Okay, the other thing that comes to mind, and this ties into to Jupiter, and I see why they're saying, is Neptune at step 8. How do we put this? Basically, if you want to change or ascend in your life, I know that people want to hang people for certain things, hold people to certain details, carry out certain things to justice, but sometimes the story just ends. And it's a choice as to whether or not you're going to move on or not. And if you happen to be lingering wanting justice or wanting some sort of detail to the bitter end at a time when the fairy is leaving for Never Never Land. By the way, the real Never Never Land, that was the one with Michael Jackson in it. If that's the case, you miss out, right? So sure, it was important to you to make sure it was down to that detail. Sure, it was important to you to make sure you got that T crossed and you got that I dotted, but you might have missed the ferry to where you want to go. So this is a time they're showing me with Neptune at step 8 that you have to just simply decide, step 8, decide that you're not going to care anymore about anything. The magic words are, it's okay. So when I went through this lesson myself of self-compassion is what we're talking about here, and because Neptune's at step 8, we're being offered an entire world of self-compassion, okay? Total plur, peace, love, unity, respect, all right, for those who know that. In this moment, the only way to get there is to make a decision and just say goodbye to all of it. That self-mercy and release, it's okay, will give you the lubricant and flexibility to know what's important and what's not. So what I was going to share there before I got sidetracked in my psychic side was every time my mind wants to get hung up with something, I say, it's okay. It's okay. And I adopted that philosophy. That's how I learned how to be self-compassionate. So it was like, but the horoscopes are late. It's okay. But my audience didn't get to see. It's okay. But it's okay. But the rent is, it's okay. But it's okay. Everything, the answer is it's okay. So this is a time with this vortex of Jupiter and Neptune crossing. Jupiter is getting reality pregnant right now, basically. And right now it's getting reality pregnant with step 7 this week, which is the spiritual side of life. The spiritual side of life is it's okay. Nothing matters unless you make it matter in this reality. So populate your new reality with the phrase, it's okay. And it will be, because it is what you be is exactly what will come. Okay. All right, that sounds good. I want to thank everyone for their wonderful comments. I don't get to check in as often because I'm shooting these kind of back-to-back now, but thank you so much. Every time someone leaves a feedback or something like that, it means a lot to me. If you don't know, my home site is soulgarden.tv, and you can follow me on Twitter. I will be doing a Periscope very shortly, and those only stay up for 24 hours when I do them. So I recommend checking it out when you see that little tweet. You can follow me on Twitter at @Siwateki. And lastly, I'll say, if you would like to get a reading with me, come on down to soulgarden.tv, and you'll find you can also have me walk with you day by day with my personal Sensei network. You can try it out for just 99 cents, and the text messages are designed to kind of go with this show. And you'll see that they start to go together a lot more moving forward this week. All right, my friends, I love you so much, and I encourage you to live in your new reality. Be mindful of your heart and be mindful of your peace this week and today, and get that tune in your head, your live, love, be, your mantra, whatever, and just whistle down the street saying it's okay for a little while as we get this new reality pregnant this week. See you in 24 hours. Until then, I love you, and live, love, be.